Let me tell you a little story. It's the story about the San Antonio River, a river that runs for 240 miles from its headwaters in San Antonio to the Gulf waters in San Antonio Bay. A river that has given us a thriving ecosystem and has brought life to civilizations, forging connections that are lasting for generations. SARA created the Watershed Wise Award to honor the exceptional volunteers, professionals, and organizations that have dedicated their time to fulfill SARA's vision of inspiring actions for healthy creeks and rivers. We invite you to join us on a journey through SARA's 4 county service areas of Bexar, Wilson, Karnes, and Goliad to meet the 2018 Watershed Wise Award honorees who have been nominated by the Board of Directors and SARA's staff. We hope their stories will help inspire and empower others to join us in our efforts. Our journey begins in San Antonio at Confluence Park, where we meet our first Watershed Wise Board of Directors Award honoree, Estella Avery. Her decade of dedication as the Executive Director of the San Antonio River Foundation has culminated in bringing to fruition Confluence Park, a shining example of her leadership in the community.
To me, the San Antonio River is life. It is a living thing that not only makes you feel wonderful when you walk along it, you can exercise, you can enjoy the art, you can enjoy nature itself, you can hear some of the birds, or you can see some wonderful trees and flowers, and so it's a living thing, and it takes you away from it all. I first became aware of the San Antonio River Foundation through a good friend of mine, Marion Lee, who had been doing some consultant work with the foundation. That's when she said, they are doing some phenomenal things along the river, and I think that you should become involved with it. And of course, I had no idea what it was going to lead to. And so here we are today with Confluence Park behind us. For a board member on the River Foundation, I think that it can be a big challenge just because it is such a diverse foundation. It's not just about one thing. There's the public art projects. Now there is the Mission Reach. Now there's the Confluence Park and the education behind it. So the board member is trying to wrap their head around all of that. And of course, there's always the continuous fundraising and how are we going to make it better for the public, and how are we going to get as many students as possible, and what's the outreach going to be. That work is never completed. The fish, for instance, under I-35, that's a great example of how the foundation continues their fundraising, their maintenance, safety. All of those things are taken into consideration, and those things are discussed during board meetings and discussed amongst the staff all the time, and that's a big job. My hopes for Confluence Park is that it continues to grow, and I don't mean the park itself, but I'm talking about partnerships in the community, that we get more businesses, more nonprofits, that we all come together, that we're all on the same page about environmental education, that we are all on the same page about the importance of water, which is a very large issue, that more and more schools become involved, that the summer programs grow, so that students in the summertime have a destination and they have a purpose. They're just not at home just watching on the computer or just on their phone, but that they're active, and that the park is a big part of their lives. I came to see Confluence Park before it was open. My daughters and I had gone to lunch, and it was kind of a dreary, drizzly day, and the chain link fence was still around the park. And I said to the girls, this has been such a big part of my life for several years, and I said, you girls want to go look at the park and see what they're doing? And so we drove up, and there were some school buses here. And so we walked into the education center, and all of the kids, just a lot of noise and a lot of commotion, and they're just finishing up their lunch. And I cannot even begin to explain to you the feeling that the emotions that went through me at the moment, to think, oh my gosh, this is what it's all about. All of the doors that I knocked on, all of the presentations that I made, and all of the conversations, and all of the yeses, and all of the nos, and all of the maybes, and here we are, and it's real, and the kids are here, and they're enjoying it, and they have no idea. All they know is that they came to this fabulous place, that they were able to collect samples, that they were able to learn something, and that it's been a great morning for them. And at that moment, it was like, this was all worth it. Thank you, San Antonio River Authority Board of Directors, and a very special thanks to Suzanne Scott, who has been my mentor over the years, and I knew that I could always go to her when I needed advice or just somebody to talk to. This has been a real privilege, and I am very honored.
Our journey continues at the Land Heritage Institute, where we meet its president, Mark Opelt. His dedication to education and land conservation along the Medina River is shaping students as well as preserving and restoring habitats.
I have never not been connected to the river in some form or fashion. Grew up in a ranching, farming family. My dad's family from Castroville has always been connected with Medina River. We spent weekends at Medina Lake. When I met my then future wife, Peggy, when we were in high school, her property was on the Medina River, her family ranch and farm, and so we spent time literally hiking up and down these river bottoms from the time we were in high school. And we're still doing it. We're still hiking the river bottoms, which is really pretty fun. Well, the Land Heritage Institute is a 1,200-acre living land museum, is what we call it. Our collection is not the pieces that you might walk up to and see behind a glass box. Our collection are these natural environments that we have preserved, and how man has used or lived on the land is really part of what we're trying to explore, how we've interacted with this space over thousands of years. It's just it becomes a sacred place whenever you think about those important parts of how humanity has interacted with the land. And so that's what the Land Heritage Institute is about, trying to bring those qualities to today's youth. 10 years ago, 15 years ago when we started our organization, the question came from one of our funders, well, where's the next generation of conservationists going to come from? And so we really felt like that this place is a place where we can provide a venue to train and teach stewardship. So I think where the Land Heritage Institute and the San Antonio River Authority sort of intersect and create a bond that allows this piece of property to be important is the fact that the River Authority provides scientific expertise and they provide programming, and Land Heritage Institute provides a place. They provide the area where people can come and see and enjoy, hike along, ride their bikes along, ride their horses along, fall in love with the Medina River, and it's as a tributary of the San Antonio River by extension, the entire San Antonio River basin. So I think it plays a key role in partnership, particularly. I think the synergy between the San Antonio River Authority and Land Heritage Institute is real, and it's very important to our quality of life in San Antonio. I hope our actions as the board of the Land Heritage Institute inspires our community to protect this natural asset. Just by not developing it, we are, I think, protecting and providing a buffer area that preserves this stretch of the Medina River, and I think that's incredibly important. If the Land Heritage Institute is successful, this 4.5-mile stretch of river 100 years from now will look just like this. The natural world and nature is not a luxury. It is an absolute necessity to life. If we don't have a chance to reconnect with nature, we never really get a chance to understand where we came from or where we're going. So without nature, there is no life. I just want to thank the San Antonio River Authority Board of Directors for their work. Thank you to the San Antonio River Authority staff for their great support. Thank you for this award, and we are absolutely excited about our future endeavors together.
Now we go downriver to the John William Helton San Antonio River Nature Park, where we meet our next watershed honorees, Harry, Elaine, and Heather of the Wilson County Beautification Association.
We are the Wilson County Beautification Association,
and our mission is to preserve and enhance the beauty of Wilson County.
The association was created by our previous judge, Quinney, back in, I believe it was the year 2000. It lasted for a couple of years, and they did some special little projects at the time, but it did fold in around 2002. Current Judge Jackson asked me if I and several other people could get together and reform the Beautification Association, and we have, and we are here now.
Some of our members are retired, some still working, several still working. They just want to be active in the community and help promote the beautification events that other people are doing.
And we try to stay on top of what a lot of the other organizations in the community are doing as far as beautification projects and litter pickup, and we try to raise awareness of what they're doing. And so a lot of the input that we have comes from the people in the community and the whole county who are doing all kinds of things to keep our county beautiful.
One of the most wonderful things we have seen around in the county from San Antonio River Authority is the development of some of the parks in the area. The Helton Nature Park here that we're in, I used to drive past it going to work and would just see this flooded spot that used to be old pecan groves. Every couple of years it would flood out. Now I drive by and there's people down in the park sitting there with their dogs. We come down here for the Pecan Festival once a year, and each time those events come up, we'll share them with everyone we can think of to try and get them to come down and enjoy the parks as well.
I think it was great when we had those seals that are on the light fixtures in downtown.
Oh, I forgot to bring one of those.
Those are so beautiful. We had these seals that were attached. It was our county seal on each lamppost, or many of them. And so we took them down, and Harry was a big part of this project, and repainted all of them and then replaced them, and they just look so
Painted
unique.
in full color.
Full color.
Full color.
I think that was really
the
exciting.
only courtyard in the state with full color county seals on their antique lampposts.
Well, we feel like the river has tied us together with San Antonio in a way that we can tell our story as far as how we exist in this watershed area and our role in what we can do to take care of this asset to our lives and to our story that started so many centuries ago. Here we are now, and we're still connected by this body of water, several bodies of water, but in particular the San Antonio River, that has made us feel like we're a part of a much bigger story, a much bigger picture. And it's important that everything that we do on our day-to-day life impacts something that's such a huge part of this beautiful story and this history that we have.
Yes, especially in our county.
Especially in our county.
Yeah.
And how it connects us to Bexar County also.
So
because
what happens up there happens here and down in Goliad and further south of here, all the water.
exactly.
We of the Wilson County Beautification Association are so grateful for this award from SARA. We are just all surprised when we got it. It was really amazing, and we want to thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Heading south to Karnes County, we meet our next Watershed Award honoree, District Technician Harvey Calden. Harvey's advancement of agriculture management practices has improved water quality and soil health while imparting proper land management techniques to farmers and landowners.
My name is Harvey Calden. Now I am a district technician with the Karnes County Soil and Water Conservation District. we work with farmers and ranchers and develop a water quality management plan. In the plan, we have best management practices that we're going to assist the landowner carry out, such as prescribed grazing and rotation grazing and some fertilizer and weed control if we need it. Try to emphasize the importance of soil health and planting cover crops, or at least managing cover crops, and hope that they will come back like this area here has come back on its own without having to plant them. What you see behind me here is an example of a high-intensive grazing program where you put the cows on a small area and move them, depends on the grass, it probably move them every day or sometime every other day. And the key thing is have them grazing for a short period of time and then defer it to keep the cows off for a longer period of time and let that recover. And when you have them bunched up like that, you also, Mark always say, we got a perpetual fertilizer machine going. And you get your benefits from your fertilizer. It's a natural fertilizer, and you don't have some of your commercial fertilizer. It's running off your land and end up down in the creeks and the rivers and out in the ocean. The rural areas, which is your farmers and your ranches, that's a big watershed and contributes to the river. If we had everybody doing what's been doing out on this place, that would go a long ways in cleaning the river up. I work with the San Antonio River Authority now since we've got the plans to develop the 319 program, which when you have a good cover of grass like you got here, if you get a rain, the water either goes down in the ground, which we're trying to get it. If you have some runoff water, it's going to be clear water, and which going down to the creeks and eventually gets into the river and eventually get down into the bay. In my opinion, because of the number of acres in the watershed, what's going on the farmers and ranchers is even more important than some of the rural urban areas. It's helpful for the next generation of conservationists, but it also helps to some of the other landowners. That's what we're trying to do right now is trying to show some of the other landowners that this is actually working and try to encourage more and more of them to carry out some of these practices. I would like to thank the San Antonio River Authority for giving me this award, but I'm actually receiving this award because of the work of the Karnes County Soil and Water Conservation District and the landowners in the area. It wouldn't be for them, none of this would be taking place.
Our fifth watershed honoree is the City of Kennedy. Former Mayor Randy Garza, who during his service as mayor receives this award on behalf of the City of Kennedy, honoring the city's support of the Escondido Creek project.
My name is Randy Garza. I was born and raised, been in Kennedy 55 years. This is my beloved town, and the Escondido Parkway will be a fun, joyful place for all the community to come together. I remember coming here when I was about 12 years old. It was a small little park with cement benches and a little creek. And now we have the opportunity to expand this Escondido Creek. This project will allow the community to move from the east side to the west side of Kennedy, and we're all excited here in Kennedy about the project. The Escondido Parkway will provide 3 miles of hike and bike trail. It will provide a large pavilion where families can come together. We'll have plenty of parking. We'll have a splash pad. We'll have a skateboard park and exploring options for local artists. And to me, the project means everything because it's just going to bring a lot of joy, laughter, and fun to the community. This side of the Escondido Parkway will also be in connection with our city park, and that is going to really open up the center of the city and provide a lot of amusement, entertainment, and fun for all that come out here. San Antonio River Authority has played a tremendous role. As a matter of fact, they brought this project to the city of Kennedy. From day one, we've been excited. So we thank the San Antonio River Authority for just thinking about us. I'm excited by the collaboration of the City of Kennedy, 4B Corporation, the San Antonio River Authority, and the Escondido Parkway Committee, bringing this project to Kennedy to bring the community together for fun, nature trails, and education. On behalf of the City of Kennedy, we thank the San Antonio River Authority Board of Directors for recognizing our hard work, our dedication, and our commitment to the community.
Our journey then takes us to Goliad County, where we meet Watershed honoree Brenda Justice, Superintendent of Goliad State Park. She is being recognized for her efforts to promote education and recreation along the San Antonio River.
My name is Brenda Justice. I'm the superintendent at Goliad State Park. We are currently inside the wall and compound of Mission Espiritu Santo. Here at the state park, we have a lot of school groups that come through the park, as you can hear in the background, enjoying the day and learning all about what there is here culturally and naturally inside our park. The San Antonio River here at this site is so important for it. It's the reason why the mission was built here. It provided life for the people, the plants, and the animals that live here. In 1749, when the mission was first established, and it still does today, the influences on the river are seen all around us, and it plays a really key role in our park and our education here at the site. My relationship with SARA began in 2007 when I joined the Regional Parks Coordinating Council team with them. Have worked over the years with them on multiple projects and partnerships. They've been a great supporter of the park. For example, they help us out with the paddling trail, as well as our big event that we do every year called Rio Rio. The San Antonio River Authority worked very closely with the Goliad State Park team and with the Canoe Trail Goliad to make this a paddling trail site. Rio Rio is one of my special events that I love because that event used to be called Spanish Tracks and Trails, and we ended up changing it to make it more inclusive, to be able to include the river and why it's here and the impact on the resources and the mission, the site. And so by changing the name and making it more of a celebration, and we can have all kinds of demonstrators and volunteers come and showcase and teach what they do, from not just the skills from 1749, such as blacksmithing and candle making and the things that would have went on in the mission, but also about our fisheries, about our wildlife that live here. And San Antonio River Authority comes every year and teaches the children about watershed management and pollution and keeping the river clean. So it's really a very nice partnership that we have with them. Educational and interpretation events that we do at Goliad State Park are really important for our future generation. The more we can educate them and share our knowledge and love of the outdoors, we're hoping that they will become stewards of our natural resources, such as the San Antonio River and all the cultural resources that we have at the site. Because if they love it, they'll usually take care of it. I'm hoping that this place in 100 years will pretty much be the same. It'll be preserved, and they will care for it as much as we do today. I'd like to thank the San Antonio River Authority for nominating me for this award. It means a lot to know that my efforts here at the park and what we do in our partnership is being recognized, and I'm humbled and very appreciative. Thank you so much.
The last stop on this journey is in the San Antonio Bay. Our final watershed honoree, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Alan Berger, is accepting on behalf of the San Antonio Bay Partnership, whose mission is to create and sustain a working partnership committed to protecting the natural resources of the San Antonio Bay system.
My name is Alan Berger. I'm Chairman of the Board of the San Antonio Bay Partnership, a regional nonprofit out of Victoria, and our mission is protection of the San Antonio Bay estuary. The San Antonio River Authority has been instrumental in getting us started. They provide us seed money and donations every year that make it possible for us to chase our mission. We couldn't have We couldn't have gotten started without the SARA support. One might wonder how Seadrift, Texas is connected to San Antonio. The San Antonio River dumps into the Guadalupe River, which dumps into the San Antonio Bay. And so most people that live on the bay don't necessarily think of a watershed, but people that live up the river may understand the watershed, but they may not understand the bay. The San Antonio Bay Partnership has kind of 4 components in its programs. We do conservation work to protect marine habitat and land around the bay. An example of projects that we're currently doing, we are working with the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge and the International Crane Foundation to ensure that whooping cranes have freshwater supply. A second initiative has to do with freshwater inflows. We're trying to establish a dialogue with stakeholders on both river systems, with the San Antonio and Guadalupe River systems, to look for ways to build community and to develop solutions to ensure that even in times of drought, there's some minimum amount of water flow that gets to the bay, but that's essential for the bay to maintain its productivity. Another important component is environmental education. We bring a floating teaching vessel to Seadrift each year to let local kids go out in the bay. They get to pull a shrimp seine, a shrimp trawl, and a plankton seine and understand and discover how the bay works. It's always rewarding when you see the kids react and the delight in their eyes and really the awe of what they saw, and maybe something clicks that helps make one of them want to be a marine biologist one day. So, another program the San Antonio Bay Partnership has is public use and public access of the estuary. We have built kayaking trails in Port O'Connor. We're building one in Seadrift now, and we have a vision of having several that kind of interconnect and let people enjoy the bay firsthand. And so we think it's a invaluable way of getting people connected with the bay system. And if you ever paddle across an estuary marsh at sunrise, when the wind's calm and the seagulls are diving, you'll be hooked for life. The marsh is where it's at. The fish are there, the shrimp are there, the crabs are there, the birds are there. People are there. But it's a very vulnerable place. And so if we don't protect it, it won't be there forever. All the activities that we do are designed to help protect the place. To protecting physical habitat, to looking at people and their attitudes to try to get them to appreciate the marsh as much as I do. I thank the San Antonio River Authority for this award. It provides a platform for me to talk about the partnership, its goals, and its activities. My hope is to lever this award into additional focus on the partnership and increased success in fundraising and growing our programs.
We hope these stories have inspired you to join us to protect and preserve our watershed, to ensure our creeks and rivers will continue to be a source of life and enjoyment for generations to come. To learn how you can help keep our creeks and rivers safe, clean, and enjoyable, visit www.sara-tx.org. At SARA, our love of the river runs deep.
I'm Suzanne Scott, General Manager of the San Antonio River Authority, and I'd like to invite each of you to join us in our vision of inspiring actions for healthy creeks and rivers. There are many ways that you can help protect and preserve the river for generations to come. From picking up trash in your neighborhood, to becoming a watershed wise warrior, or building a rain garden at your home or business to capture stormwater runoff. Visit the Watershed Wise section at SARA's website at sara-tx.org to learn how individuals, businesses, and organizations can play a role in protecting our watershed. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy the rest of tonight's films.